Honourable member for Dartmouth Cole Harbour.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm pleased to engage in the debate for a few moments this morning. Let me first of all thank my colleagues, the mover of this important motion, the member from London-Fanshawe, and the seconder, member from Beauport-Limoilou. They did a wonderful job introducing this issue to the in debate today, and I thank them very much for their concern, as I know their constituents are very thankful that they were elected to this House. This is a very troubling trend that we have we've seen in this country. It's been going on now since 2006, for example. It's been going on for far too many years. Since 2006, we've lost over 400,000 manufacturing jobs in this country. The impact that it has on our economy generally is extraordinary. The effect that it has on the communities in which these jobs are lost. And we heard from the member from London-Fanshawe talk about some of her constituents who work at the plant, the Caterpillar plant, talked about the impact that it was having. She cited some personal examples of families that were directly affected. She also talked about the United Way organization in her community and how the workers at that facility had raised over $100,000 in support of the United Way, an organization that supports communities, that supports families, that keep the wolves away in large part. Madam Speaker, they will not be able to donate the money that they've been able to raise because they are that's the kind of impact that these kind of job losses have on these communities. And Madam Speaker, I was remiss in not saying when I began that I will be sharing my time with the member from New Westminster, Coquitlam.
Hear, hear.
Undoubtedly, he will be able to get up and tell us stories about the kind of impact that this is having on his community, and I look forward to listening to that. But the member from London-Fanshawe, when she talked about the impact it was having on her constituents and her communities, the shutdown, the loss of so many hundreds of jobs, and the impact on that community, but she also presented to this House solutions. She presented legislative solutions, strategies that may in fact go some distance to preventing this kind of occurrence in the future. And that, frankly, is the difference between us in the official opposition and the government, and for that matter, for the third party, is that we're engaging in debate here on this issue, on trade issues, trying to say to the government and other members of this House, what is it, first of all, when it comes to trade and the negotiation of trade, let's make sure that in our negotiations that we don't sell away important jobs in our communities. That if we're going to negotiate a trade deal, that we make sure it's in the benefit of our communities, in the benefit of the workers, of the companies, the organizations from one end of this country to the other. Let's not just get carried away with putting pen to paper, signing a deal with whomever, just simply for the sake of saying, look at us, we're traders, we're signing another trade deal with X company or X country. And then we see tens of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of good jobs being lost as a result of those kinds of decisions. The Minister of Industry, when he stood in his place today and engaged in this debate, he didn't say, he said that this was a tragedy, that he feels bad for the workers and their families. But did he offer us any concrete solution? Did he say to us, you know what we're going to do, what our government is going to do? We're going to introduce the following changes to our legislation to make sure this doesn't happen again. That we're going to work with our provincial counterparts to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Not once. Not once did he offer those kinds of changes. And that's why you have the constituents of mine in Dartmouth Cole Harbour, Canadians from one end of the country to the other saying, whose side is this government on? Whose side are they on? You know, you've got the CEO, you've got a company like Caterpillar that has been making extraordinary profits, and they took tax dollars in this country and have moved their operations down to the United States. They recently profited a record profit for 2011 of nearly $5 billion, an 83% increase over 2010 profits, Madam Speaker. Caterpillar's CEO earned more than $10 million in 2010. See, that's what we've been saying on this side of the House, that when it comes down to choices, the government chooses the CEOs that are making $10 million. It chooses the corporations that are making billions of dollars in profits. That's why they've continued to lower the corporate income tax in this country, down now to 15%, which is one of the lowest in the G20, and it's resulting in billions of dollars being stashed away in the bank accounts of very profitable corporations. Creating jobs? No, in fact, just the opposite, and this is an example. This is an example of a company that took tax breaks, very generous tax breaks, and it greased the skids as they were moving the equipment and the jobs away from this country, Madam Speaker, and that's wrong. The other thing that was said that I find quite troubling, the minister stood up and he accused the member from London-Fanshawe and other members of this caucus of playing cheap politics with this issue. When we stand up and we talk about what a devastating impact this decision is having on working people, he calls that cheap politics. When we stand up and offer solutions, when we urge caution to the government when they're making decisions to be careful that you don't do things that are going to continue to create these kinds. He calls that cheap politics. Shame. Well, we know, we've seen the color photo of the Prime Minister 4 short years ago hanging out of the window of one of the locomotives at that plant, pulling down on the air horn, the big smile on his face, talking about how, as a result of the tax breaks that his government is affording that company, that he's making sure that there's secure jobs in this country. Well, we know who's playing cheap politics. And the cheapness and the bitterness and the meanness of those politics is the fact that those jobs are now gone. Yeah. Madam Speaker, we heard the intervention, the leader of the third party earlier, and he kind of castigated the members of the NDP, saying that they're against this, they're against that. But what he couldn't do is he couldn't answer for the record of the Liberal Party when they were in government for 13 years and allowed this very event to happen time and time again. Companies coming in, not only taking over our company, or taking over our companies and then laying people off, but taking our intellectual property, taking patents out of this country and moving them somewhere else to the benefit of another country. The Liberals didn't do a thing about it. What we're doing in this debate, Madam Speaker, is saying that this is wrong, what's happening to working people. It's wrong that we're losing these important manufacturing jobs in this country. It's affecting our economy, and we are proposing solutions, and we are prepared as the official opposition to work with members of this House and after 2015 as government to make the kind of changes that will protect and encourage the development of manufacturing jobs in this country. Thank you very much.
Questions et commentaires.